Hi friends! Hello everybody and hi, my name is Kieran and you haven't seen me in a few days. And I have a reason for that. So when I started doing YouTube, I bought a 4 terabyte hard drive. And the reason I spent so much is because I was like, oh, I'll just get this and I'll never need another one. And if it ever gets full, then I can just delete whatever's super old because that'll have a lot of storage space on it. And I thought, well, that's fine. Then it died. It crapped itself and died. Didn't connect to my computer. I sent it to Staples and it couldn't connect to their computer either. So now it's being shipped off to specialists to have my data from it manually extracted, which I can't really afford. But that's fine. It's fine. Just hundreds of dollars. It's ridiculous. It's not. Oh boy. And also that's where all of the games that I bought for YouTube were stored. And I could download them back onto my PC, but my PC has very limited storage. And I don't know, man. So I have a bunch of generic stuff that we can do in the meantime until we get that back. So yeah, so today I thought we would ask ourselves some hard-hitting questions, really getting into the feel of it all. Are you strong enough to eat the loaf of bread you just baked even though it came out of the oven begging for life? I think I am. You just baked a loaf of bread and you were very excited to eat it, but when you took it out of the oven, it was talking frantically in a deep, loud voice, pleading you not to eat it so that it could live. It sounds really desperate, but also smells delicious and you're pretty hungry. Are you strong enough to eat the loaf of bread you just baked even though it came out of the oven begging for life? Take this quiz to find out. Alright, this bread is saying things like, "Please don't eat me. I am the bread and I want to live. I want to experience this beautiful world. I'm bread from the oven and I want to fall in love and buy a car. I'm the bread and I dream to go to sleep." Do these pleas for life move you to mercy? Or do you still want to eat the bread? So listen, right? If you find a nice lady and y'all get married, get a house, get kids and such, you're gonna give her a yeast infection. Yeah, I still want to eat the bread even though it can feel love. Of course not. How could I eat a loaf of bread that can dream? Hearing this bread say these things makes me want to open the window and toss the bread out into the world where it can live life and be happy. I would compromise with the bread. I would allow it to learn a little bit about being alive by showing it the Ken Burns baseball documentary series. But when the documentary series finished, I would go ahead and eat the bread. I mean, it's not like it can walk. It would need some sort of apparatus or me. So no, it's mercy. I'll eat the bread. Oh no, now the bread's saying it wants to go to Sarah Lawrence College and study French literature. It keeps weeping and saying, "I want to read the Count of Monte Cristo in the original French. I love being bread and I'm scared to die. Don't eat me. I'm bread. I want to have sex with all my professors. I'm bread and I want to go to college." Yeast infection, dude. Are you heartless enough to deprive bread of its dreams of becoming a literary scholar? Yes, obviously, bread is for eating. If a loaf of bread gets a college degree, it would be a perversion of God's plan. Who am I to stand between a sentient loaf of bread and its academic aspirations? I will do whatever it takes to help this bread get into Sarah Lawrence College. I will compromise by teaching the French word for bread, le pain, and the French word for bonjour, bonjour. And then I will eat the bread. I have to be strong. Bread is for eating and I'm hungry. We have to eat this bad boy. Oh no. A little boy in a sailor suit holding a gigantic lollipop just ran into your kitchen and screamed at the bread. Oh daddy, daddy, oy vey, daddy, daddy, I love you and it's my birthday. Please live so that you can teach me how to grow a unibrow and how to scale a fish. And the bread is shouting back at the boy. Oh, my son, you're one of my 15 children. I have 9 sons and 6 daughters. And all of them are scared because I'm bread. I'm a loaf of bread and I love you, son. I want to teach you how to scale a fish and show you the right way to jump into volcano. I didn't exist until 5 minutes ago. I'm bread and my eldest son is 46 and writes music for pornographic adaptations of airplane safety demonstrations. The little boy in the sailor suit is blowing kisses at the bread and the bread keeps shouting, "One of us is bread and one of us is my son. I love my son because I am bread." Would you be so cruel to eat this loaf of bread and orphan this sweet little boy along with the bread's other 14 children? How? I have so many questions. Oh, that's him. It's kind of like oy vey, today. Yes, I will eat the bread in front of his son, who says, oy vey, bread should not have children, only humans and bugs should have children. I will eat this bread because I'm hungry and do not want the bread to have a family. Of course not, who am I to stand in the way of a loaf of bread and his human child who says, oy vey. I will let this bread raise a family in peace. I will let this bread raise its children, but after the last child graduates college, I'm going to eat the bread. That is brutal. I'm going to eat all of the bread's children just in case they taste like bread. Hooey! That is absolutely savage. How active have you been sexually? That you've conceived? That can't possibly be your son. And how did this child get into my house? No. It's all a lie. It's just a conspiracy because the bread doesn't want to be eaten. But I've seen as-diff movies. It's muffin time, babe. Sometimes it's hard not swearing because there's so many good jokes. The bread just belched and said, I want to kill an endangered rhinoceros. Does that change anything about whether or not you want to eat it? Bread's not really selling its case very good. I don't care one way or another. I just want to eat bread. I don't want a rhinoceros to die, but it's still wrong to stand in the way of bread's dreams by killing it. I would let the bread burp and kill animals. It's only right. I would compromise by eating the bread and then killing the rhinoceros myself. I mean, I do care. Yeah, no, now I feel like I'm doing the right thing by eating him. A ray of blinding light just appeared in your kitchen. And when it faded, a glorious angel from heaven was standing there, beckoning to the bread. The angel pointed to the bread and said, You are the bread. You're a child of God. And the bread shouted back, I'm the bread and Christ is my master. And the angel said, Oh, you're the big fat bread and you are full of the Holy Spirit of the Lord. That bread thick. And then the bread said, I am the bread from the oven and I wish to live a life of prayer and good works. But you just wanted to kill a rhino. And that's not really very nice of you. Then the angel kissed the bread and whispered, God calls you, Mr. Bread, and your life is sacred, just as all life is. Then the angel opened your kitchen window and flew away. His wings made a buzzing noise like a bug. Do you want to eat the bread after learning that God blessed it with a soul? Very big, loaded question, loaded big package here. A lot to unpack. Yeah, it's fine, I'll still eat the bread. Listening to God is optional. How could I devour a child of God? This makes me want to take the bread to church so that we can pray together. And then I'll send the bread into the forest so that it can live its life the way God intended. I would compromise by eating the bread while watching the 700... What? A religious-themed news magazine, one of TV's longest-running programs. I see. Well, now that you brought God into it, and I'm wearing Christian attire because I'm a brand ambassador now. Click the link below to get 15% off at GodTheFatherApparel.com. Their stuff is super comfortable, super affordable, considering its premium quality. It's not a sponsorship, it's an endorsement. There's a difference. Right, but this thing is all conflicting with this thing. The fact that it buzzed away like a bug makes me think that we're all just having an ass of a trip. Let's chomp down. Are you ready to see the true grit, the strength of my gumption? You are strong enough to eat the bread. Hey, pretty cool. According to this quiz, you have the emotional fortitude necessary to eat the loaf of bread you just baked, even if it comes out of the oven begging for its life. Even though the bread has dreams and a family and is blessed with the love of God, you got no qualms about slicing it up and scarfing it down. The bread will scream while you eat it, and its last breath will shriek, I am the bread and beautiful music makes me cry. And then the bread will be gone because you ate it. You won't be bothered at all because you have a heart of stone. You're definitely strong enough to eat the loaf of bread while it begs for its life. Nice job! Hold on, let's go for the pacifist run. Wait, I would rather assume the bread's identity and have sex with other sentient bread, but I guess that this is okay. Of course not. Who am I? Of course not. No, I don't want. How could I? You are too weak to eat the bread. Bad news. According to the results of this quiz, you're too weak to eat the loaf of bread you've baked because its pleas for mercy would be too much for your heart to take, and you wouldn't be able to go through with it. Because of you, the bread will go on to live its life. The bread will see its children grow up. The bread will go to Paris. The bread will fall in love and buy a car. It's because you have so much compassion that you couldn't bring yourself to eat the bread. You lack courage, and your blind kindness will one day be your undoing. Try hardening your heart and taking this quiz again. Now let's try the middle ground, which is a bit more sadistic if you ask me. So showed a documentary, eat the bread, teach it French and then eat him, let him raise his children, and just when he's seen them succeed, kill him. I'll eat the bread and kill a rhino myself and eat the bread while watching the 700 Club. You would eat the bread, but you'd feel bad about it. Okay, pretty interesting. According to the results of this quiz, you would definitely eat the loaf of bread that was begging for its life, but you'd feel very guilty about it. You'd do your best to give the bread a good life for about 20 minutes, and then you'd kill the bread by eating it. You would slice up the bread and it would shriek in agony, and you'd feel an ache in your heart, but that wouldn't stop you from slicing the bread all the way up and devouring it while it begged you to stop. You'd start crying while the dying bread screamed things like, "Let me see my children before I die," and "I'm the bread, and I never got to write my poetry." But even through your tears, you'd spread some butter on the bread and eat it while it screamed. Then the rest of your life would have nightmares where you'd see the bread in the street, and the bread would say, "I wanted to fly in a hot air balloon, but you ate me." It's not an ideal situation, but at least you got to eat some bread. Nice job! Well, that was a thing. Clickhole's good. Clickhole's got some good stuff. I wonder if there are any other funny comments. No? Oh yeah, it's from Bread Lover. Do you have what it takes to kill... do you have what it takes to eat sentient scared bread? Find out with the link to the quiz down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, and if you like what I do here and you want to help me make people happy for a living, then please subscribe to the channel. But of course, as always, I love you, and hope you have a wonderful day.